Welcome back to State of the Nation. Kenneth Giado is a consultant for the Benue State government. He's still there in our Abuja studios. While we take some time to get back to you, let's bring in another different perspective to this as Anthony Damboram, the Commissioner for Information, Taraba State, joins us via telephone now. Thank you so much indeed for coming on State of the Nation. Your state, just moments ago, also got a threatening letter that is as disturbing as it is when the people of Benue State got something similar based on information that got to the governor there. You are faced with a letter that says that Taraba State will be attacked within the next 10 days. What are you doing about that letter?
Jimba, what we are doing is our governor has already reported this threatening letter to the authorities, right up to the presidency. And all the security agencies that we have been informed, even though whenever, as he stated yesterday when he received the PDP national chairman, that these issues, before they will report, an action is taken, sometimes it is always too late. So all these steps have been taken, and a report has been made to all the security paraphernalia that we have in Nigeria.
Could you confirm the veracity of that letter?
No. We cannot confirm the veracity or the authenticity of this letter, but we are not playing with this letter. Because some states in Nigeria and some old communities have received these letters, and when they are taken with levity, there are always, the enemy always strikes. So we are not questioning the veracity, we are not challenging it, but we are not playing with it. And that's why our indefatigable governor has taken all the steps to put the report as the law has stated, because for now we don't have state police, and we cannot ask Tarabans to help themselves. So we are crying to the president, we are crying to the Security Council in Nigeria, we are crying to the military and all that are supposed to do to come to the aid of Taraba State.
Because a lot of people, permit me to just butt in here again, because a lot of people are really concerned, especially the people in your state, and saying what manner of leadership should come to play at this point when there is a security threat on Taraba State, and the people very likely will be attacked in the next 10 days. And you are taking this very seriously. What do you expect done from the leadership in the country?
What we are expecting is, number one, in fact, we are happy that the president has woken up to this challenge, because his utterances are positive, his actions are commendable, especially the setting up of the committee that is being headed by the Vice President, Professor Oshibajo, and also the consultations going around. In fact, it is so positive, but we are still asking the presidency, because the number one thing every leadership should have is the welfare, the security, and the well-being of the people of the country. That is number one. And setting up the committee to negotiate is not just enough. We are calling, especially we that are at the receiving end of these activities. We have, in fact, in my community, we buried about 30 people in one grave, even though we did not publicize it like it was done in Benue. And from my own community, that is in local government, where I was chairman in 2012 to 2015 before I became commissioner.
Okay, let me put you on hold for a minute or two, and let's go to back to Abuja and talk to Mr. Giado. Mr. Giado, Benue State, as Taraba State is, you share something in common, and which is the anti-open grazing law. Both states have that in place now. Do you see this as a situation that has prompted some level of concerns, especially when it has to do with settling and clearing the grey areas concerning this bill and how it will work for both the farmers and the herders?
Well, the Benue State version of the law, I don't know what, I've not seen the Taraba version of it, but the Benue State version of the law is very clear and very unambiguous. It was the considered opinion of all stakeholders, led by His Excellency Governor Samuel Otom, and then the people of Benue generally, that the igniting point between the conflict between farmers and herders is when there is an intrusion. No matter what the logical arguments anybody puts up are, what leads to the flashpoint is when you are in your farm and somebody brings his herds of cattle to come and destroy what you do for a living. So in the considered opinion of the state, and consultations were very wide. In memoranda were invited, public hearings were held and all that. And they said, okay, a device should be put in place where the cattle breeding can take place in a safe environment, side by side with farming activities, so that the two interests don't clash. That is the underlying philosophy of the Benue Open Grazing Prohibition Law. So opportunities were given to herders, not just cattle, all livestock, to apply for licenses. They say, okay, we want to establish our own ranches here. And then the state government was prepared to do everything to meet those demands.
Okay, let me come in here. My apologies again. Let me come in here very quickly, and let's talk to Mr. Damboram, who is talking to us by telephone. Mr. Damboram, if you look at the situation in Benue, is it very likely that with what is in place there in Benue, you'll be faced with the same thing again in Taraba?
Jimba, Taraba's case is there is a slight difference because before the introduction of the open grazing prohibition law by the Taraba State legislature, when it was a bill, a lot of education, a lot of sensitization, a lot of education was given to both the farmers and the graziers. And it is not a new thing in Taraba, because what is happening on the Mambila Plateau, where we have a large chunk of the cattle in Taraba State, there is some kind of ranching going on there. And it is this ranching that is being propagated and done on the Mambila Plateau that gave a kind of gave a direction and some hope that if it is replicated all over Taraba State, at least the danger, the crisis, the clashes will be reduced to a barest minimum. And the way we are handling our own in Taraba, yes, after the law was signed, after the bill was signed into law, we didn't just wake up and say, okay, this law, it will be implemented the next day. 6 months was given for this enlightenment, for this sensitization. The governor gave 6 months, and even now that the law came into effect on the 24th of January this year, we are still not arresting, harassing, implementing this law directly, because the government it has taken upon itself certain burden to carry out certain rearing infrastructure, to put that into place.
I must thank you. I must thank you so much indeed, Mr. Anthony Damboram. Unfortunately, time will not permit us to go through all of this. We'll try to do that next time. Thank you so much indeed, the Commissioner for Information, Taraba State, as well as Mr. Kenneth Giado in our Abuja studios. He is a consultant to the Benue State government. Thank you both, gentlemen, for talking to us here on State of the Nation. And thanks to you too for being part of the show. I am Gimba Umar, and this is State of the Nation.